Great evening, everyone. Great evening, great evening. I am going to try to do this for the first time where I am actually recording or coming before you by way of Facebook and Periscope. So we're going to see how this works out. But I want to greet everyone. I am Dr. Nikisha Doctor, your communication catalyst. And for those that may have never met me before in your life, wondering who this woman is, listen, I'm just going to go ahead and just have you just be really upfront with you and ask you to pay it forward, share it out, because you just saw it. You read the tagline for yourself. And I want to give you a moment to grab, a notepad or pen or pencil and begin to share this out with those that you know. Pay it forward. Any leaders in the corporate space or educational organizations, whatever that looks like for you, wherever you are in the world. But I want to give you this because as a communication expert myself, what I do in my business as educational consultant, as the communication catalyst, I go out and I show leaders, C-suite leaders, how to effectively connect and communicate with those that they serve. So those that you're serving, meaning by way of your team of employees and your customer base. And I got to tell you this, one thing that I know for sure, and I make no bones about saying this every time that I show up in this space, I know this to be true because I've seen it happen. And two things that I know will make or break a household and close the doors to a company happens to be finances and lack of communication. Lack of effective communication. And this is the thing, right? Many of us have, as leaders in our space, we've gotten away from how we do business and what that looks like. So I came before you, whether it's Sunday morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world, on Facebook or Periscope. Listen, one thing about me, for those clients that have already had the opportunity to work with me, I'm not one that comes to put icing on cakes, and I don't sugarcoat with any of my clients and those that I serve, because this is what I know to be true. I want you as leaders in your companies, or a team leader. You may be a supervisor. You may not necessarily be the CEO of the company, but you very well have a unique space in which you serve, and you have an important role in the companies that you are working within. So whether again, I'll say this because I want you to grab hold to it and find your place in the message that I have. If you feel like it's not for you, share it out with those that you know, but I'm not here to waste your time. I want to come before you because I'm tired of seeing some of the things that I'm seeing in these companies. And we're wondering why people are leaving our companies as leaders. Let me say that again. You are a Fortune 500 company. You have hundreds and thousands of employees, or you may even very well be a small business, but you have an amazing reputation in your community. But you're wondering, or let's say you had, and you're wondering what's happened because you're noticing that your employee turnover rate is diminishing. You're noticing that the customer base that you serve is shifting, it's changing. You don't have the same clientele of people that you once served. And what I got to tell you, this is no secret. Maybe you just have not slowed down enough. You've not pumped your brakes long enough to pay attention to the small details. So Facebook, whether you're here, whether you're joining me live on Periscope, listen, I want you to show some attentiveness. Grab your notebooks, your pens, your pads, wherever you are. And I want you to go with me for the moment because it's really key that you grab this information. And I want you to grab hold to it because I want you to be able to share it with those that you know. And understand that this is real time, real talk. I do not have time to waste your time. Neither would I have you to waste my time. So listen, I need you to hear this. I need you to hear it wherever you are in the world. And go ahead and begin to pay it forward. If you're watching for the first time, again, I am Dr. Nikisha Doctor, your communication catalyst. It may sound funny. You may be wondering, did I think I hear her correctly? Yes, that is my name. Doctor is my name. And communication is my game and my gain. And what I mean by that is I come and I show leaders. I get in the trenches. I come and I join you in your space, in your business, in your companies. I show you how to effectively communicate with those that you're serving. I'm so sick and tired of many leaders. You're losing amazing employees on your team that are willing to work and serve you because you don't know how to talk to your people on your team. You are losing major clientele. The revenue is dropping tremendously. Your profitability in your company is diminishing. The performance by way of the productivity by way of your employees, that's going away. It's not even quality work anymore because, again, it goes back to how we speak to them as leaders. And I'll say this to you. I have seen firsthand, and if you're jumping on wherever you are, I see that some are out there jumping on. Please just don't hesitate to just share out who you are and what do you do as a leader in your space. How do you serve? How do you impact those that you serve in your company or in the workplace? And this is what I know, right? I'm coming to give you one of the biggest mistakes that companies are making, but I'm asking you to share it out. Pay it forward. That's my call to action to you right now. Pay it forward. Share it out with those that you know, and those that even though you know but may not necessarily, converse with on a regular basis. Say, hey, listen, this woman is speaking about the biggest mistake that many companies are making. Share it out right now. Before I disclose what the big mistake is, I just want to know who you are in the world. What's your name? Where you're joining us from? What state? And what is it that you do in your space as a leader? And for those that will listen to the replay, I am not here to put icing on your cake. I'm not here to give you some type of dog and pony show. But what I am here to do is give you some vital information that's going to save your company. Let me share something with you. I had an experience, and this is real time. I was in a supermarket grabbing lunch for a class that I was providing lunch for. And I placed the order before going to pick up the food. I placed the order in the deli to go and pick up several sub sandwiches and the rest of the food in the store. I will not disclose the name because I don't really think that's important, but what is important to know is that I had an experience as a customer. So I was all in because, again, this is my space, and as a communication expert, opportunities just seem to drop in my lap for me to be able to come back and share with you some of the things that I'm seeing out here on a daily basis. I'm seeing it firsthand as a customer and as a communication expert. I'm seeing this stuff go down real time, not only just locally where I am in Florida, but I also see it across the different state lines when I'm traveling and training different companies. Listen, I'm coming because I'm coming to share with you about what I'm tired of seeing and how you can move past and make the changes in your company. Show some love, tap the screen, introduce who you are. Wherever you are on Facebook and Periscope, I'm joining from both places because I want to reach the masses. I'm trying to reach the masses. And let me say this to you, for those that are jumping on. Again, I'll continue to say my name because you may have never met me. You want to know who this woman is in this red sweater. I am Dr. Nikisha Doctor, your communication catalyst, and I show C-suite leaders. I show leaders in the corporate space and in the educational sector how to effectively communicate with their team of employees and their customer base. We are losing so much within our companies because we don't know how to talk to people. We think we can say anything, any and everything that we desire to say. What comes up just comes out of our mouths like running diarrhea. And listen, we're not in that place, people. We're doing it all the time, but I don't know where we get off thinking that it's acceptable. Where is it that it's acceptable that we can say and do anything that we want to say and do and represent a company, whether you're the founder, the CEO of the company or not? It's not your place to just say whatever comes to your mind. And then you expect the customer or your employee to just suck it up like a vacuum. Like it just supposed to, just take it all in like it's just okay. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable to be a leader and you're saying that you have a certain vision for your company, and yet and still we don't even know how to converse with people. We don't know how to connect with those that we've hired on our teams. We don't even know how to greet the customers that do come through our doors in our companies. Let me share a story with you. As I was stating, went in to purchase lunch for a class that I was teaching, right? And I went in to get the lunch that I had already called in. So I'm going in as a customer to pick up the food. I ordered several sub sandwiches, and there were some other things that I needed to pick up from the store. Nonetheless, I went in, I explained to the gentleman at the counter, at the deli counter, what I was picking up. And so he proceeded to go and look for the food. He came back with three long bags, which were subs in the bags, white bags. I could not see through the bags. So I'm looking, I never received the order form where my order was taken. And usually the times that I have, they'll give that to me. So I asked the gentleman, and he happens to be the supervisor on duty that particular day. I asked him, I said, sir, I noticed that this label says turkey breast, but I ordered a chicken tender sub on white bread, along with several turkey breast subs on wheat bread. Now, mind you, I'm reading the label of one of the bags that said turkey breast, but it did not indicate what type of bread it was, right? So as I am proceeding to ask him, sir, how do I know what type of bread this is in my order? I see some jumping on, and I just want to say greetings to Miss Charlene Day. Thank you for jumping on. And again, wherever you are in the world, just don't feel shy, or just be bold enough and just share out who you are, your name. You can tell us what state you're joining from and what your role is as a leader in your company, and even as a parent, whatever that looks like for you. But I want to know your name. I love to know who I'm speaking to and sharing with, because this may be enlightening for you as well as those that you know, and even during the replay. So going back to my story, the gentleman says, well, ma'am, what type of sub sandwiches did you order? And I said, well, I ordered a chicken tender sub as well as several wheat subs with turkey breast. He says, well, ma'am, whatever you ordered, that's what it is. So mind you me now, me being the person that I am as a communication expert, I'm thinking to myself immediately, now how could he say that to me? Well, ma'am, whatever you ordered, that's what it is. When I can see that I could not see through the wrapper, all I could see was the label that said turkey breast, but it did not indicate what type of bread it was. And I said to him, I proceeded on to say, sir, this is not a wheat sub. I said, it's supposed to be turkey breast on wheat. I said, but I can rest assure you that this is not wheat bread, because I'm here to order several times during the week for my class. He says, well, ma'am, whatever you ordered, that's what it is. He proceeded to repeat himself as though I never heard what he said, and he didn't deliver it any different. All that he said, he just repeated himself. I paused for a moment, again, me being who I am in my role as a communication expert. I said, sir, I can't see through this paper, and I see that it says turkey breast, but I cannot see the color of this bread to tell me what type of bread it is. So he says, well, ma'am, the only way that we can tell what type of bread it is would be to open it. I said, well, I didn't necessarily want to open it, and then you have to damage out a sandwich, when really you could just tell me what type of bread it is. But it tells me, as I'm talking through with this supervisor, he's the manager, he's the leader on duty now. He could not necessarily tell me because he did not know. He did not place he did not take the order. So he went to the back counter and he found the order form. He says, well, ma'am, right here it says turkey breast on wheat, and you have your chicken tender sub with the white bread. I said, sir, I can tell you that this is not a wheat bread sub. So he proceeded to say, well, ma'am, let's just open the sub. I opened up the sub sandwich, and guess what it was? I know you've already figured it out like I have. What we discovered, the leader, myself, and then the leader in this department, in the deli, was that it was a white sub, turkey breast on a white sub. How did I know that it was not a wheat sub? I'm explaining to this gentleman as a customer, sir, I've been in here numerous times. I can tell you that it's not wheat bread because your wheat bread is softer. But instead of him listening to me, he proceeded on to say, well, ma'am, whatever you ordered is what it was. The moment I peeled the label back to open up that sub, pulled the bread out, he was in shock. He went to apologize. I mean, he was so apologetic. It really, I can see that he was embarrassed as a leader. He felt some kind of way as a leader, and he immediately turned to the associate in the deli that was already fixing other sandwiches. He says, I want you to remake her sandwiches for me, please, and that would be no charge to her. And he says, ma'am, he says, you taught me something. You taught me something today. I said, well, sir, what did I teach you today? I said, what, to never judge a book by its cover? He says, well, you taught me that, for one, we don't have the labels on the bread properly, on the labels for the meal, for your sandwiches properly. He says, but for two, that you're right, the wheat bread was softer. He says, I never really paid attention to that. I can see now that it's much softer. I see some are still joining on. And again, you don't mind just sharing your name and where you are joining from, what state maybe, and what your role is in your workplace. What do you do as a leader? And listen, the moral of the story that I just gave you, I was the customer, the gentleman was the leader. And by no means, this is the big mistake, right? This is the big announcement. One big mistake that leaders are making in companies is that we've stepped away from being intentional about how we best serve our employees and our customers. Let me give it to you. Again, the big mistake, it's not the biggest, but it's one of the biggest mistakes that our companies are making, is that we've lost the touch. We've lost the touch of true customer service and how we serve our team of employees, but we think that it's A-okay. We think that we can say any and everything out of this thing right here. I call it the hole in our face. We think we can say whatever we want to say and it's acceptable. Hello, Miss Rashonda. I see that you're jumping on. Thank you so much for supporting and jumping on to just show some love. And again, for those that are here, just share it out. Listen, it may not be for you. It may not. I don't best serve everyone in my business I don't serve everyone in my line of business to everyone. There's specific people that I serve, if you will. I strategically work with leaders, C-suite leaders in companies, whether you are serving in the corporate space or in the educational organization, and you are a leader. I'm talking to you. And if it's not for you, pay it forward. Don't just close yourself out of the video. Pay it forward and share it with someone else that you know are leading a company, that you know maybe they're a supervisor, they're a team leader. Whatever that looks like, I challenge you to jump on and share it out, because I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, as the older folk would say, sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm tired of it, ladies and gentlemen. We're leaders, and we walk around every day like we can just say whatever we want to say to people. Where do we get off doing that? Why is it acceptable? Why is it acceptable? I have spent enough time. I've spent enough time in the trenches, out in the fields, in different companies, hands-on. I'm one of those leaders in my company. I'll say it to you over and over. Every time that I go and work with a certain organization, it doesn't take me very long to identify what their issues are. It has to do with lack of effective communication and proper customer service. We do not know how to serve those on our team. We do not know how to serve the customers that come through our doors, but we want their money. Let me say that to you again. We expect people to spend their money in our companies, but we don't know how to talk to folks. We expect them to keep coming back to our companies because we offer such, high quality items, whether it's a product or whether you're providing a service, but we don't know how to talk to people. It's very true, Miss Charlene. It's very true, Miss Day. When I tell you that the reason why I'm continuing to come up and show up rather in this virtual space more and more is because I know that there are other leaders out there that have never met me, because you have not seen my face in your local area. So I'm coming by way of meeting you virtually. Hi, I'm Dr. Nikisha Doctor, and I'm showing up for you. I'm showing up to come to you. I want to visit you. I want to come where you are to show you really what true customer service looks like and how to take care of our team of employees. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. And if anybody that knows me personally, this is who I am, real time. I want you to put that in the group. Hashtag real time, real talk. This is what I want you to know. When you take care of your people, they will take care of you. And that's what I know to be true. That is what I know to be true. Not only in this space, but even in my space as a founder and executive director of a 501c3 nonprofit organization for girls. People they're not just going to keep serving and being an impact if you're going to talk to them like hot garbage. I don't think so. And I don't think so. I'm really, really tired of seeing people in their double-breasted suits, their pencil skirts, their red bottom shoes, their stilettos, the 6 and 7 inch heels, and you think because you show up dressed in $200 and $300 suits and you're driving a Bentley and a Mercedes and a Cadillac and an Escalade, whatever that looks like for you, and you're living in a $500,000 or $1 million home, that you can show up in your workspace and talk to people any kind of way. It's a wrap. It's done. It's done. People don't want to spend money where they're not celebrated and affirmed and valued. People don't care much about your name per se and the credentials you have. They don't give a rat's tail about that. People never forget how you serve them and how you treat them and how you make them feel. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. When you take care of your people, they will take care of you. When you take care of your people in your companies, in your workspace, again, whether you are a team leader, a supervisor, an assistant manager, a manager, maybe you're the C-suite leader, you're the leader of the company, CEO, you might be the chief financial officer, you might be the chief technology officer. Listen, whatever that looks like, maybe you're an entrepreneur. You just might not necessarily have a team just yet. So don't count yourself out just yet now. Whether you are a small business owner right now and you just open up your doors, maybe you are still trying to figure out who your target audience is. This is still for you, but you know why it is? Because you still have to work with customers. And I'm going to tell you this, people are tired of being spoken to any kind of way, treated any kind of way. And what I do know is that being a master communicator is critical to your next level. That's what one of my mentors says. Mr. Trevor Ott says, being a master communicator is critical to your next level. I want you to write it down. What I do know, and this is what I've come to realize, that 85% of your success, 85% of our success in life is directly attributed to how we communicate with others. It's directly attributed to our communication skills. You got to grab hold to this thing. It's not about what you think about the person. It's not about what you perceive and what you think you know about your customers. It's not whether or not you like them as a person, but it has everything to do with how you best serve. Are you being intentional about how you serve people? Ask yourself that as a leader. Maybe you're a leader in a church organization. Are you being intentional about how you best serve those in your companies? Get over yourself. Get over yourself. Again, I'll say to you, it doesn't matter what level of credentials you have. People don't care about any of that anymore. If you can look around, if you're watching the world news, you can see more and more that our political leaders are facing some real hard times right now because of sexual harassment and how they communicate. They've been communicating with people for decades now and have thought maybe for once that nobody was going to say anything about it. See, communication is not just verbal. It's also in our body language. It's also physical. The way we communicate is done on different levels. You got to really, really be mindful about how you communicating with those that you serve. And I just stopped by on this Sunday evening where I am in Florida. I stopped by just to give you the business on that. One big mistake, again, that many leaders are making in companies is that we are not being intentional about how we best serve our customers and our team of employees. People don't want to come and work for somebody that doesn't affirm them and value their skill set and what they do and their knowledge base. Pardon my expression, many people don't want to work for a-holes. They want to work for servant leaders. They want to feel valued. They don't want to work for donkeys. You understand? People want to feel valuable and affirmed when they show up to work. When people show up as customers in your business, they want to know that they're welcome there anytime. They want to know with a smile. They want to know with a handshake. They want to know with a greeting. How are you today, Miss Brown? How are you, Miss Shaniqua? How are you, Mr. Joe? Whatever that looks like. Ladies and gentlemen, as leaders, we've got to shift gears a little bit. Move yourself out of the way. For me, in my role as I serve, every day that I serve, I ask God to set me aside that he can give me what I need to be impactful. It's not about anything that we're doing. It's not about us, but it's everything to do in how we serve and how we deliver those products and services that we say we have to offer people. But every time you give them your behind to kiss because you don't want to be to work and because, you know, I'm ready to get off, you know, it's about time for me to get off work. That should not change the level of service that you give people. Let me say that again. That should not change the level of service you give to other people. So very shortly in the next few days, I'm gonna share it out. I have what you call a 7-day communication challenge. It's absolutely no cost to you. It's coming. It's coming. And the purpose of the communication challenge is so that people will step forward for themselves as leaders. It's more of a challenge for you over 7 days. It's a 7-day period for you to assess where you are as a leader in 2 areas, in connection and communication, in 3 areas, and your customer service. How you impact. Are you being disruptive in how you serve? Disruptive in the manner in which I'm speaking of it is, are you being intentional? Are you being intentional? Are you making a conscious effort to give people the very best they deserve? Guess what? I'm not going to even sit here in front of you on this video and tell you that every time we work with people on our team, our coworkers or our subordinates, or even the customers that come in the store in our companies, I'm not going to tell you that they don't come acting ugly too. But I will tell you this, it's not your place to return the same level of service that you got from them. That's not our role. Our role looks very different from those that may come to us a certain kind of way. And even if you have to play it real smooth with a smile, if you have to reschedule a meeting until you gathered your thoughts even before sending a response via email, that's still written communication. We have a way, technology has made us think that, okay, because I'm sending a text, I'm responding to a coworker or a customer, if you will, or a friend or a family member by way of a text or an email. Oh man, that saved the day. I've gotten that off my chest. I'm done with what I have to say. Do you realize that that's more toxic half the time than it would be for you to communicate with someone in person? So they can see your gestures, so they can make eye contact. The both of you can make eye contact with that person or persons. You think because you sent the text and an email, your work is done? I don't think so. Because what I will say to you again, as a communication catalyst, the way you communicate in writing, that's on another level, people. That's on another level. And we think that it is all gravy, that it's just good. All is good. You've done your due diligence when you communicated with somebody doing a text, and all of these emotions are raised. Different things are happening when you're responding in writing. So one of the best ways to handle that is to either schedule time to meet with that person one-on-one, and if they choose not to, take a moment and think and pause before you send a written response. Take a moment and not even send the text or the email just yet. Get your thoughts together. But I would say to you that as leaders, our role looks totally different. You got to know how to connect with people and effectively communicate with them. If you have not made a connection with your customers or your team of employees, how in the ham sam do you think you can effectively communicate with somebody you rarely know, but you hired them on your team? The most that your employees may know is your name and your position. They don't even know who you really are, because you rarely come through the workplace or the company and to greet and speak with them one-on-one. Probably the last time they saw you was really doing the interview, if they met you then, because you probably had a team of, your hiring team to hire them. You probably have not even met them a day in your life. Even if you're running a virtual company, there's still a way to connect with people. There's still a way to effectively communicate with your team and the customers you serve. Listen, I can go on and on, but I'll tell you this. I showed up tonight just to give you the one big mistake. The one big mistake right now. I didn't say it was the end all be all, but I will tell you what I know to be true. One big mistake that companies are making in our companies, in the workplace, is the mere fact that we're not intentional about showing up in the best version of ourselves. We want to give people whatever we feel like on that day. And I can tell you, as a communication expert, it's absolutely wrong. It's wrong to expect the best from others, but we give them mess. It's wrong to expect people to show up with so much joy and peace and happiness in your company, in your workplace, and you give them mess. That is absolutely wrong. It's selfish. It's uneven. It's unrealistic for you to even think that that's how we're supposed to do business and leadership. But you call yourself, we call ourselves leaders. Leaders. This is not a bashing session. This is not to cut anyone down. But what it is, it's just a word to empower every leader to take a step above. Listen, I'm not talking about this because it's close to the end of the year and this for you to set a New Year's resolution. I can give a darn about a New Year's resolution. Today is November 19, 2017. I want you to start as early as tomorrow. If it's simple, it's something as simple as you beginning to walk throughout the company, greeting people that work on your team that you haven't even spoken to probably in over a couple of weeks. Haven't even laid eyes on some of these employees on your team. Step up your game, ladies and gentlemen. It's time. People are tired. How do I know? Because they're telling me so. How do I know? Because they're telling me so. Dr. didn't just come and make this up. This is not some fly-by-night type information I'm sharing with you. I'm a customer too when I show up in places, and I see it firsthand. I'm going to give you one more, and I'm going to be out of your way. And this is what tells me that it's a big mistake. Went in to rent a car from the airport, as a matter of fact. I will not disclose the name of the company, the rental car company, but I'm going to share the story with you. Went up to the counter, provided the woman with the representative with my confirmation number and everything, ready to get the car that I needed so I can hit the road to do the work that I'm explaining to you now. As an entrepreneur, as a communication expert, I travel to clients. So I'm on a time schedule. I'm trying to get where I'm going, grab the car and keep it moving. Well, it happens to be where the lady indicated about there would be an extra charge for a second driver. And, you know, at that particular time, my husband was with me and we were trying to just see what that all looked like. And, you know, not that we weren't going to pay it, just asking the woman, well, where is that in writing? Can you show us where that is in writing? She proceeded to say, well, she picked up a pamphlet and she says it's in there somewhere. Now she's representing this company. The woman says to me, she says to the both of us, matter of fact, it took her a moment to even grab the pamphlet. We're looking to see what she was talking about. She pointed initially and said, it's in there somewhere. And we're both turning our heads like, in there somewhere? Where are you referring to? So finally, when she realized that, okay, well, I can't just point to the customers, I need to show them what I'm talking about. She picked up the pamphlet and proceeded to hand it to me. Okay, so I grabbed the pamphlet and open it up for her, you know, to kind of, so really for us to kind of look at it. I said, well, ma'am, where is it in here? Exactly where is it in this pamphlet? She says, I don't know, it's in there somewhere. I don't know, it's in there somewhere. I said, ma'am, somewhere? She says, well, I'm not here for all of that. I'm just here to rent out cars. I can't tell you about that. I'm just here to do what I'm doing. My mouth flew open. I said, wow. I said, ma'am, are you serious? I said, did you just hear what you said? So at that point, I shift gears from a customer to now it seems like I'm operating in this space as a communication expert. I said, ma'am, did you hear what you just said? She says, yeah. I mean, with a major attitude at that point. Yeah, I heard what I said. I told you that it's in there somewhere. I'm not here for that. I'm here to rent cars. Well, how in the world, ma'am, can you rent cars if you can't even direct me as a customer to what I need to see before I make this transaction? Before I realized it, my husband and I, again, we're standing there in awe. Both of us are like, really, really can't believe what we're hearing. Mind you, the manager, her supervisor was standing not very far. She was standing next to her, but a little bit of distance because she was helping another customer. Well, the woman overheard this entire conversation while she was really trying to help the customer. She overheard us. Just as fast as she can finish with that customer, she rushed over there and said, ma'am or sir, let me show you where it is in the pamphlet. And I said, ma'am, I just want to say thank you. That's all we were asking for. We didn't have an issue with paying the fee. We just wanted to see where it was outlined in this fine print, where it stated it in this trifold pamphlet, where about the fee for the, the extra drive and what the guidelines were. She says, ma'am, I completely understand. I said, did you hear what? She says, absolutely. That's why I came over. In that case, it was twofold. I do understand that the woman that was serve us, I now understand that she was not a leader, but it wasn't, that's not even the point. The leader did take the lead and she came over, the supervisor came over and corrected the situation. But what is quite interesting to me is that someone had to train her. And the mere fact that this young lady was an employee and her supervisor was standing right there and she was okay saying what she said to my husband and I as customers, it really disturbed me. It really disturbed me because this one big mistake that companies are making can be applicable to not only just leaders, but to the employees themselves. And what I know is that as leaders, we're only as great as our team is. Did you catch that? We're only as great and effective as our team is. So what that says to me is that it now meant that that leader had to take her back through some remedial training because she just represented the company in the manner in which she did. And not only top of that, she's wearing the logo of this company, but then your supervisor is standing right there. So listen, if we're not effective as leaders, you can't expect your employees to be. That's the moral of that story. We're only as effective as our team of employees are. And if we're not properly training them on what effective communication and proper customer service looks like, how in the ham sandwich can you expect them to deliver in the right manner? Listen, I've been on this thing for a while. I know that I've kept you guys for a little bit of time, but I want you to know that, oh, absolutely, Ms. Day, she needed a trainer. And the trainer should not have allowed the action to be carried out. Absolutely not. And I think the supervisor, I think if she had stopped with the other customer for a split second and said, ma'am, give me 1 second, or sir, give me 1 moment to step over here for a second, it would have alleviated that employee from saying what she said to us. So now she had left a damper on the representation of this company based upon how she served us and what she said out of her mouth. And so it's really important that, again, we're only as effective as our team is. But this is the thing, right? When we take care of them, they'll take care of us. So they need proper training. You can't expect anyone on your team as employees to deliver if you have not effectively trained them. And if you have not shown them what effective communication even looks like, we've got to demonstrate that what we want to see. What I know is that, see, people hear what you say, they don't hear what you intended to say. So even if the woman said, well, ma'am or sir, I intended to say this, but that's what she said. And she repeated it more than one time. No apology ever came out of her mouth. The supervisor apologized. So it told me that this woman didn't give a hill of beans about her job because she was standing right there performing in front of her supervisor. Not only as us, in front of us as customers, but in front of her supervisor. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm leaving you with that. You've got to be really intentional and disruptive about how you serve. When I say disruptive, hear me and hear me good. When I say disruptive, that means you got to be intentional in how you show up in your workplace around communicating effectively and providing proper customer service to your team, to your customers. You got to be intentional about that thing on a daily basis. Watch the words that comes out of this, that are coming out of your mouthpiece. You got to learn how to master your mouthpiece. Slow your roll, pump your brakes, and get your thoughts together before you just allow what comes up to come out of this thing right here. This is a weapon. There's life or death in this thing. People don't want to hear what you intended to say. They are hearing what we say to them, and your first impression is just that. It tends to be your last one because they're not coming back. People don't care about that. Get your thoughts together. For those that have additional questions, may want to have a conversation with me one-on-one. You're welcome to do that. Welcome to do that by simple. You will speak with me. It's just simple as you texting the word discover, and the educator in me always will spell it out as not to insult anyone. Discover, D-I-S-C-O-V-E-R, because I do understand that sometimes if you're speaking, the letters may sound like they're running together. So texting the word discover to the number 904-474-3088. Again, those that would love to have a personal conversation with me, whether you're on Periscope, you're joining, or even on Facebook Live right now, you can reach out to me personally and speak with Dr. Doctor about, you know, just chatting about what you're experiencing as a leader in your company. You can do so by texting me at texting the word discover, DISCOVER, to the number 474-3088. It's been my pleasure to serve you, and I'll be back before you really soon. Have an amazing week.